these guys were easy to find, we would have found them all.
Yeah, I'm the Beyonce of virtual reality.
How could America not be any better? We got legal fucking drugs now. The Centers for Disease Control says people should consider not using e-cigarettes while it continues to investigate vaping-related lung diseases. There's been a spate of 450 confirmed or suspected cases across the U.S., including 3 confirmed deaths. The CDC says it's likely the illnesses are a result of exposure to chemicals, but they haven't yet pinpointed the specific cause. Robert Mugabe, who led Zimbabwe for 37 years, died at 95 in a hospital in Singapore. He went to prison for his role in the country's independence struggle, then came to power fighting white minority rule and ordered the seizure of white-owned farms. But Mugabe's taste for crushing dissent angered his citizens and the military, which ousted him in 2017. As if there was any doubt that Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam's withdrawal of the extradition bill was too little too late, police used rubber bullets and tear gas against another round of protests today. Demonstrators chanted 5 demands, no less, referring to 4 that are still unmet. Amnesty for demonstrators, an independent investigation into police brutality, a halt to the government's characterization of protests as riots, and universal suffrage. 8 months after former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz announced he was considering a presidential run as an independent, the billionaire announced he's not going to run after all. In a letter to supporters, assuming there are any, Schultz, himself a moderate, said he doesn't want to risk cannibalizing votes from a moderate Democrat in getting Trump reelected.
To see this day, it's just a miracle that this is happening.
Elizabeth O'Ree was just 27 years old when her younger brother William Hoover Jones went missing during a battle in the Korean War.
We never forgot him. Oh, he was just a happy-go-lucky fella. Loved everybody. And he had a wonderful sense of humor. He could make a dog laugh. And the last time I remember to see him, he was rushing to get on a bus to go to Fort Bragg, and we never saw him again.
For our comrade in arms, Private First Class William Hoover Jones, this nation bestows military honors.
Jones was one of thousands of Americans listed as missing in action at the end of the war. He was MIA for almost 70 years, until last summer, when 55 boxes of remains held by the North Koreans arrived at the headquarters of the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency in Honolulu.
What did the North Koreans give? They gave sort of bits and pieces, or?
It depends on the village. So they gave us, when they gave us the 55 boxes, they gave us location of recovery. So at certain locations, the bones are pretty well preserved. Mm-hmm. Certain locations, they're not.
Dr. Jenny Jin is the lead forensic anthropologist for the Korea mission. She and her team use advanced DNA analysis to match unknown remains to the records of missing service members. Often those remains are dug up from a nearby national cemetery, nicknamed the Punch Bowl. The Pentagon wouldn't allow us to film unidentified remains.
The individual has a gunshot entrance wound through the left eye orbit, which exited the back of the occipital.
So we'll do the clavicle, and then with age and stature, we can narrow it down to a better list.
36,000 Americans were killed in the Korean War, but there are close to 8,000 still missing in action. And only so many of those cases can be solved by digging up bodies from the Punch Bowl.
Are most of the remains that are unidentified or missing at this point, are they because they haven't been recovered, or are they because we just haven't identified remains that you have?
The number of the remains we have in the laboratory is significantly less than the number of missing, so most of them are not recovered.
About 1,500 of those are thought to be findable. somewhere in South Korea. The U.S. military is still looking for them.
The patrol came in like this, but then they were attacked from 3 sides by North Koreans. They couldn't go back out the same way they came in. They had to cross over that way.
Alec Christensen is one of DPAA's forensic anthropologists. A couple times a year, he leads a team of investigators into former battlefields, searching for evidence of missing soldiers.
There's still 10 men unaccounted for. 3 were probably taken prisoner. 1 was probably lost back when they first crossed the river. And 2 are probably buried as unknowns. There should be 4 bodies somewhere.
Today, his team includes a linguist, a handful of military investigators, and 2 bomb techs who scour possible sites with metal detectors. They're on the trail of a patrol unit of 16 Americans, which set out across the Nakdong River in the summer of 1950 into what was then North Korean territory.
They probably came up from this way, right?
All they have to go on are 70-year-old maps and after-action reports, and gut instinct.
Continuing towards, arrived on Hill 207 at 3:15. Outposts were put out for security. Daylight discovered wrong hill in the dark. Patrol was 600 yards east of designated hill. Yeah, so let's keep going up to 207 and see.
Good deal.
Oh, yeah. I can see them coming up that ridgeline, and they get up to this, and they're like, this is our hill. Does this feel like the sort of place you'd stop a patrol? Look at the visibility from here.
Not right here.
You can see everything. Let's just start with the metal detectors up here.
What are the guys scanning for at the metal detector? What are they actually hoping to find?
We find shell casings, we find bolts, we find shrapnel. Everywhere in Korea, you're gonna find that stuff. What we would like to find, ideally, is some evidence that somebody stopped here. So, sea ration cans, some life support material.
If you're actually finding where a body was left, you might find hardware from a man's uniform.
You got shrapnel. See if there's more.
Ben Franzen is an Army veteran and one of the lead investigators with the mission.
You got a bullet.
So you think this would have been a bullet from...
It's war-related. Yeah, definitely war-related.
This is a hit, right? I mean, this seems like a sign of progress, right?
To be honest, this is very typically what we would find anywhere we look.
This is not looking promising at all. Seeing this hilltop, it fits the narrative well. We're just not seeing any solid archaeological evidence.
Are you disappointed?
I wasn't sure what we were going to find up here. Sometimes you're lucky and you find more than you had hoped to find, and more often than not, you don't. So, it is what it is. If these guys were easy to find, we would have found them all.
Often when American remains are found, it's thanks to the Korean military, which is constantly searching for its own. South Korea is still missing almost 130,000 soldiers from the war, and when they identify a possible site, they just start digging. During a morning off, Alec went to check out a Korean dig site.
You want to show me what you're seeing here?
Once remains and artifacts are exposed, they're excavating them very carefully and then mapping everything in.
Do you know what bones you're looking at? Can you tell?
Those are the legs to the left. It looks like the skull embedded in the dirt up in the upper right corner there. And then arms.
Over there, you see?
Yeah. Probably the guy was curled up.
이 지역에서 전투 자체가 유엔군들, 미군들 참전이 많았던 지역이기 때문에
How many remains do you think there are just in this area?
682구 정도 지금 저희가
When you do these digs, do you ever find American remains too?
물론 있고 현재 여기서는 확인이 불가능합니다. 적군이구나라는 그리고 미군이구나라는 것을 추정할 수가 있습니다. 반지에 I love Korea 군번줄에 우리나라 잘 다녀오라는 영어로 되어 있는 것들이 있기 때문에 유엔군으로.
Is there a certain urgency to the mission here in South Korea?
Yes, there certainly is, because the pace of development in this country is fast. there is a lot of construction going on. You'll see valleys that they've put new highways through. And once something like that happens, if there were any remains in that location,
Right.
we're not going to find them.
Right. They're gone.
So
They're gone forever.
They're gone forever. Also, a lot of our work here is based on canvassing in the villages, looking for elders who remember the war. And every year, there are fewer and fewer of those.
그때는 저 전부 하나의 배기 소리인데 뭐 조명탄 이런 걸 갖다가 막 급하면 또뭐이러냐 팔건데.
Down in the valley below Hill 207, Alec and his team are hoping to find anyone who remembers what route the missing men took during their escape.
다른 분들이 아시는 거 있어요?
첫 번에 희생되기는 덜 됐는데 이 소지에서 못 오가지고 신체로 깡깡하다 묻은 기랑 묻는 거 안게 지금은 알 수 있지만은 제 방이 묻었거든 옛날에요. 오늘 뭐요 어생 뭐 들어온 뭐 같이 한판 몰려서 뭐 포대면서 가고 쫓기 오다 이리 건너오다 본 게네 그게 제법 그런 상태라.
How old were you when all of this was going on?
11살.
And you can remember all these details about what happened then?
뭐 다 잊을 수가 없잖아요.
The team spent the afternoon digging in the new area pointed out by village elders.
You getting anything down there?
Mostly trash.
They didn't find that much more to go on. But now that they know where to look, the team can start making plans to return with more digging tools.
Given how low the percentages are to this, why is this even worth doing?
We make a promise to never leave a fallen comrade. The way that this war was fought and the way that it went, it was just impossible to recover everybody during the time. They would have just been wiped out. But they all deserve to be home.
I think it gives us a sense of, I don't know if it will ever be closure or not, but it helps. I think it's going to give other people hope. And hope is a wonderful thing.
For 3 years, we've been traveling the country trying to figure out how America is doing. Are we splitting apart? Are we finding new ways to live together? Are we scared? Are we optimistic? Basically, is America getting better? For this trip across the U.S., we figured we'd just ask. This is if you find out if you sit nice, you can be able to see me. But if I'm standing up, you won't be able to see me. It's cover my face. Little Machine Bar parking lot. There's a preseason football game tonight. I'm sitting here, see people want to talk about America. Vice News? You want to talk to Vice News HBO real quick? One question. Do you think America is better than it was 3 years ago?
Yes, just because the economy seems to be booming. It could be on the verge of recession, but for now, it's good.
I don't know. Overall, do you consider yourself an optimist about the future or a pessimist?
Optimist.
An optimist. What do you think drives that?
I don't watch the news.
That's helpful. One question. Is America getting better?
Yes.
Tell me why.
That's two questions.
Part of the same question. Come on.
Give me a second.
Take 10 seconds. I don't care.
Donald Trump, in my opinion.
It's making the country better.
My taxes have gone down. I see people working. I see action. So I think having a non-politician helping us out has been a nice thing.
Is America getting better?
I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine with it, but I know a lot of people aren't. It's almost over. He's almost not our president anymore, so,
I sell weed for a living. How could America not be any better? We got legal fucking drugs now.
It's about to go down.
The Triangle area of North Carolina. It's where I grew up, and it's where we are now. Specifically, the 10th annual African American Cultural Festival of Raleigh and Wake County. Is America getting better?
it's getting worse.
Tell me more, what do you mean?
At least for a while, it was not cool to say racist things and to be racist openly. And now it's blatant and it's unapologetic. And it makes me nervous for my children growing up.
I hate to use the T word, the elephant in the room, but I don't think our current Lord Commander-in-Chief is really helping. He's kind of
You don't want to say his name, huh?
Lord Commander-in-Chief. I'm going to stick with that.
Is America getting better?
I think it is. I think people are more accepting now of people's differences, and I think it's been brought out by the fact that they have the current president, and he's so divisive that there's now been some pushback. I think that forces people to engage. Sometimes they get sleepy. That's how that guy won in the first place. People got sleepy, got picayune, talking about, I don't like Hillary and all. Well, look what you get when you sit on your butt.
So we just landed in Cleveland, Ohio. It's the third and last stop of our tour. We're gonna put the booth downtown, where they're holding an air show. Is America getting better?
I truly think so. I mean, I feel like everything's getting a little bit more diverse. Also, I feel like jobs are booming right now. Like, I'm a salesman, so I could find a job anywhere.
So when you cast your first vote next year, who are you gonna vote for?
Probably gonna vote for President Trump, to tell you the truth. I feel like he's done really good economically, kept everything going, keeping it afloat right now.
Is America getting better?
Depends on who it's better for. I mean, the common person is just trying to get by. 2011, my pension got cut by a third. And then last month, my pension got cut another third. And I don't understand it.
Is America getting better?
Yes.
Tell me more about
It is
that.
better.
Than what?
Than it was 4 years ago. Can you only imagine what it would have been like with Hillary? Or what it will be like if somebody votes in like Sanders or Beto or any of those idiots? The economy's the best I've seen it in years. I was a construction contractor. Everybody's booked. My son has a business building furniture. We're 6 months out if you wanted something. And that wouldn't have happened with a Democrat in office.
Why not? What does the Democrat in office have to do with the...
They want to give everything I've worked for my whole life away, first of all. The Green New Deal, free everything. I paid for college for all three of my kids. And now you're going to give it to everybody? Baloney.
So there you have it. Fear, hope, and baloney. This wasn't a scientific survey. And it's no surprise the country's deeply split politically and culturally and economically. But what we found is that people can't even agree on that most fundamental American thing: optimism about the future.
Welcome to virtual reality. VRChat's a free game that lets anybody log in and talk to anyone else in the world in virtual reality.
And because it's the internet, naturally there's a lot of trolls and jerks in it.
But there's also a lot of people having really interesting conversations. Probably the most famous person doing this is a YouTuber from Toronto named Syrmor.
So I decided to invite him over and find out more about it. When did you first start using VRChat?
It's been like a year and a half now that I've been hopping on here. And like originally I just sort of hopped on because of
the whole like shock value of everything.
Shock value, what do you mean?
There's just a lot of like strange things going on in VRChat. Like
just a lot of people doing things that were weird for the sake of being weird.
Hey everyone, raise your hand if you're horny.
Oh, me.
For the most part, VRChat is completely unmoderated. Everyone chooses an avatar and then drops into a virtual chat room.
Okay, the AirPods.
But when you get there, you run the risk of finding some pretty terrible stuff.
This one to this one? Wow, dude, you're a Nazi. Holy shit, dude.
What's your biggest video, your most successful video you've put up on YouTube?
Do you know already?
Spit on him. Spit on an unbeliever boy. Spit on him.
Syrmor's early videos capitalized on the worst parts of VRChat. His first successful video shows him hanging out with a bunch of trolls who were using stereotypical imitations of African people to harass other users. It has over 28 million views.
Will you give me the saki saki boom boom?
So a lot of people were upset about that.
Because it comes off as kind of racist. I mean,
I think you could. Yeah, I don't think it's that controversial whether or not it was racist. But it's like, that is what VR was at that time.
But as Syrmor spent more time in VRChat, he started to think that maybe trolling wasn't the most interesting thing happening there.
One day when I was in VRChat, I bumped into some guy who was just like super, super drunk. And he just sort of like started going on about his life and having an existential crisis, I guess.
It's just so freaking mind-boggling that I have actually born when it's possible to freaking talk with people all around the world.
It was the most human and like memorable conversation I had in VRChat up until that point. And that's when I sort of started seeing VRChat a little different.
As he had these conversations, Syrmor would record the view from his own headset and post the videos online.
There, the kids were just ruthless. Like everywhere I went, I heard people saying like, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And they'd call me other things that I don't want to say, but...
And today, his YouTube channel is full of honest conversations with complete strangers. He calls it Humans of Virtual Reality.
I was born with a very rare skin disease. Any light friction, my skin will just scrape right off. It's like one of the most painful diseases on the earth, which kind of sucks.
Behind their anonymous avatars, people open up to Syrmor and talk about their darkest thoughts in ways they probably wouldn't in real life.
I spent time working on the music that I want to be played at my ceremony when I die, that sort of thing.
Do you get a lot of people asking for you to come interview them now that they've seen your videos?
Thousands. I have so many emails and people just messaging me on Twitter or Instagram wanting to explain their stories.
How do you feel about that? Because on one level, that's cool. On another level, it's sort of sad, isn't it? That means that there's thousands of people out there who feel like they don't have anybody else they can talk to.
You know, in a perfect world, everyone would feel heard all the time and have someone to tell all their issues to, but the world isn't like that. And to some extent, VR is able to fix that problem for people.
I didn't see what happened, but they told me that she hemorrhaged internally and died.
If you were able to say something to her now, is there anything that comes to mind?
I would just say I love you.
I feel like you've somehow stumbled onto and perhaps partially created the only wholesome thing there is on the entire internet.
Oh no, that's too much of a burden for me to carry.
Videos about trolling people might have given Syrmor his first hit, but switching to intimate human stories is what gave him a fan base. He now has over 500,000 subscribers.
Okay. I dropped the portal. Okay, let's go.
Here we go.
Yo, Syrmor, aren't you that YouTuber guy?
You get recognized? Is this your family?
He got recognized. He got recognized. I always wanted to be in one of your videos.
You're a legit VRChat celebrity.
Oh God, what an awful sounding title.
You're like Beyonce level, can't go outside without somebody coming up to you and asking to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm the Beyonce of virtual reality.
The park's so empty today.
In real life, between YouTube ads and a Patreon account, Syrmor's able to make a living off of his videos.
Can I get a crimson berry iced tea and a Marrakesh mint iced tea?
Has all this VRChat experience, this thing you've been doing, has it changed the way that you look at the real world at all?
It's definitely given me a lot more questions about how human connections even work.
Yeah, I want to ride on that thing. Let's ride on that thing. All right, we're going to race, okay, guys? All right.
VR is a way to escape, you know? Like, I can be a frog.
If I can be a cat and talk to people using avatars, and we can somehow have a friendship that lasts years, there's no real precedent for that.
If you could tell everybody in the world one thing, what would it be?
Never let anything stop you.
There is no front line. These guys are just firing rockets from wherever they can.
Aren't you supposed to be at school right now?
No.
That was pretty damn good.
What did he say? He asked me if I had my Sharia memorized.
Pushing them back with tear gas, which I can taste and feel in my eyes right now.
This is climate change.
This is sea level rise happening right here, right now.
You didn't like this job, did you?
Can I talk to him too?
No.
Come on.
This is the dateable me.
I remember the panties.
We've got Vice in here. Fucking Vice jumped in the fucking van.
This is my town. We did not want the motherfuckers here.
They're going into the tunnel now. They haven't actually cleared this area yet.
¿Ustedes cuánto tiempo llevan acá en este lugar, escondidos?
So, you're gonna be dead in 2 days.
Yeah.
Lisa?
1, 2, 3, rewind!
Using RPGs. Cool.
So what are we standing on right now?
That's Vice News Tonight. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.